individuals, and so let me suggest I'll ask the question, respond to it, and then the other two, if you wish, can respond, but I have one individual for each of the three of you. First, Dan, you stated that until a few weeks ago you were Genesee County Treasurer. Why did you resign your treasurer's office?
Well, I got to tell you, it wasn't because I expected John Cherry to drop out of the governor's race. I had worked as the treasurer for 13 years and had created this new approach to urban land and decided that if this concept, if this innovation is really recognized now as a national leader in urban redevelopment, if it really works, it works without the person who gave birth to it constantly running that program. You know, these concepts have to work well beyond the life of the inventor. And at the same time, the Mott Foundation, which is based in Flint, and the Ford Foundation asked if I would be willing to lead a new national effort to take the concepts that we had developed and essentially export those to other cities across the country. And we've done that in Michigan. The land bank idea that I helped invent, I actually see one of the other inventors, my attorney Peter Goodstein here. We came up with a concept that was really intended to address a problem in Flint, but we learned that it had great merit in other places. So we have 31 counties now in Michigan that have taken this concept up. And in fact, Mayor Bernero deserves great credit for not only embracing, but improving the use of those tools in a different kind of market. Lansing's a different place, certainly, than Flint. And what they've been able to do in Lansing is really interesting. They've done the same thing in Traverse City to help create affordable housing. We're trying to help other communities across the country. So now, Baltimore, Philadelphia, Pittsburgh, Columbus, Ohio, Dayton, Little Rock, New Orleans, post-Katrina.
1 minute.
All of these places, thank you, are using these tools. So I decided that it made sense, if I'm going to pursue the mission of rebuilding cities to make them competitive again, to restore equity in our society, to reinvest in those places that really built the regions and the metros of our country and make them competitive again, that the best way I could do that at that point was to take this idea that I had given birth to and take it across the country and work with now President Obama and his team to pull this concept together. In fact, the notion that we created led to 12 Michigan communities coming together and applying for what's called the Neighborhood Stabilization Program. Our concept so attracted the attention of the federal government that out of the $2 billion that was being distributed across the whole country, Michigan and its land banks, our idea got $224 million of that $2 billion.
Time is up.
Thank you.
I've been given a sign. If this is better, rather than interrupt you 1 minute, I'm just going
It's a little hard to see it out of the peripheral vision.
Would you rather have me do it verbally? Okay. Verge or Alma, do either one of you want to comment on that question? Next question, Verge, is for you. From Mayor Bernero.
You can say that I keep doing that one, right?
When you look out the window of your office in City Hall and see the Capitol across the street, how many miles of campaigning will you travel this campaign to reach the governor's office?
Beats me a lot. But when I look out my window at the state capitol, which is exactly what I see a mess. You know, when I was over there, we were able to pass the budget on time, and we weren't cutting education. It's tough. And I'm not trying to disparage Alma. I know she's there fighting a good fight to try to make it better. And as Dan said, we believe a lot of the same things. But it is a mess, and they're not getting the job done. And now I'm on the receiving end of it as a mayor, with the rent being pulled out from underneath municipal governments, the revenue sharing being cut, the unfunded mandates, and that's enough to make you mad. And then, you know, people are angry out there too. We have a big job to do to reform state government. And my other thought is, you know, some people might wonder, why would I want to leave the mayor's office to be governor? And I've been asked, in fact, my good friends have said, in including Dan, but my other good friends have said, you know, it's not a good time to, you know, you've got a good job as mayor, and, you know, anybody who gets in, truly, my good friends have said, you know, either Democrat or Republican is probably going to be saddled with a terrible job and not get reelected, and they're going to fail. And why would you want to do it? And I just, you know, I'm not a cynic, and I'm not a minimalist thinker. You know, I'm an optimist, and I feel a little bit as Mayor of Lansing, as like the guy in the engine room of a ship that's headed in the wrong direction. And I just can't help it. No matter how good a job I'm doing in the engine room, if the ship is headed in the wrong direction, we aren't going to get there. We're not going to get to our destination. I want to move up on deck and get my hands on the wheel. I think we've done a good job in Lansing and in the city of Lansing. And as I say, we stand proud among cities, and I think we can do a lot better in the state of Michigan for all of our people. Thank you.
Thank you. Dan or Alma, either one of you want to comment?
The only thing I would say is that while I wish you weren't, I understand why Verge is running for mayor. I think you're right. This is, or for governor. This is the time. People who want to make change want to serve in public office at this moment. And it matters who sits in that governor's chair. And if, you know, I've had friends say, are you kidding me? Why would you want to be governor now? My goodness. Well, you know, people are drawn to public office for different reasons. Some are drawn to office because, you know, they like the trappings and they enjoy the adulation. I've been in it for 33 years. I'm waiting for the adulation. But the people who are really motivated to public service for the right reasons, we're the firefighters running into the burning building. This is the time to be in that position. When Michigan is at this absolutely critical crisis moment, this is the time, because not only is it important what's happening, but this is the moment that gives us the right to change. Crisis is a great opportunity, and I think it gives us the permission, both politically and otherwise, to make dramatic change, and I think we would all agree that that's what we need.
Alma, did you want to comment on that?
Yes, I would like to do a comment. You know, I was running for governor before John Cherry withdrew, and that was because I had a vision for Michigan that was bold and different. I had served with John Cherry. He's a great guy, but he was going to be saddled with 8 years of a Granholm administration that had been, at best, a compromise all the way through. So I decided that it was important to use my experience and the understanding of government that I had and the knowledge of this budget process in a critical economic crisis time to lead Michigan out of the bottom and back up to the top. And it was an opportunity for me, and when people kept saying, are you crazy, John's going to win the primary, you're wasting your time. But it was important to put a message out there that Michigan has strengths and that we need to build on them. Being governor in this time is hard, but I think you want experience at the helm. You want somebody who, like Sully Sullinger, can land that jumbo jet on the Hudson River, make the bold move, and understand when you're losing the ship, how to right it. And I think I am that individual in this time, and it's, I'm running.
Here, here.